Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 19 of my Southampton series for Football Manager 2016. This, of course, is a fixture roundup plus a live comm against Watford, which comes just after the start of November. Of course, I usually do the first game in November, but it was Queen's Park Rangers. Not exactly the most exciting game, seeing as they were in last position. And of course, as per usual, my record against teams that are probably in the relegation zone is not being able to beat them. And yeah, we continued that in fine form. One more thing I need to go over is transfer history. We did sell Marouane Fellaini to Udinese for 950,000. Another thing to mention before we get into the fixtures is I am currently trying to find a new affiliate, similar to Guangzhou R and F. Just basically want to get uh, a merchandise type presence in another country, and I think we're going to go with America. Sporting Kansas City was one of the options. The other four options were all Indian teams, which I thought was quite interesting. Might regret not going into India, but all their reputation for their teams were all half a star, whereas Sporting Kansas City was 3 stars, and that's their reputation. So I thought that was a little bit better to go with, and we actually tour America nearly every preseason. Well, we have the last two anyway. So I thought that was quite interesting, and it played into exactly what I wanted to do. The other thing to mention, Gaston Gil Ramirez, what am I saying? Gaston Gil Romero is being sold to River Plate in Argentina for 4 million. Absolutely massive hit. We bought him for just over 17 million, and we're selling him for 4. Didn't really want to do it, but I kind of just want him gone. I'm starting to use my young ball-winning midfielders along with Wanyama, who is of course still the first team player that we're using at the moment in that position. But yeah, bringing them up. Hurst has improved. I'll show you Hurst before we get into this. He might actually start today's game. What am I doing? He's in the first team. He has played a couple of games recently, and as you can see, his stats have all gone up. He's basically Wanyama, but with better passing, if that makes sense. He's not natural either, which is a little bit worrying. He is 20 years old now. Of course, we brought him in quite a few seasons ago, as some of you older viewers will remember. But yeah, he's doing quite well. We've also brought Morgan Eza up, who is another player we brought in the first season, actually. Is that the first season? Yes, it is. He was quite hefty as well, 4.8 mil for him, but he's looking quite nice as well, if I go into his profile once again. Hasn't really had as much game time as Hurst has, because Hurst kind of came up earlier than him, and got a bit of cup football, despite not doing too well, or us doing too well in the cups over the last few seasons. Anyway, moving on, we'll get into the fixtures now. Things have been relatively good, I'm not going to lie. Of course, you guys probably saw the last episode, which was the really, really disappointing loss to Liverpool. We followed that up with a 0-0 draw to Everton at Goodison. As you can see, no one really stood out apart from Sakai, and Kostic, to be fair. But yeah, we just couldn't find a breakthrough, neither could they. Let's have a look at the shots and stuff like that. It was fairly even, to be honest. We did have better possession, but yeah, clean sheet away from home after that rocky start. Not a bad result. We followed it up, got the first win of the season with a 3-1 victory over Fulham. Katembwe with a brace and Virgil van Dijk on the score sheet for us there. The next game was a Capital One Cup second round game against Bury. We beat them 2-0 with a bit of a rotated squad. Eckhart and Zivkovic getting our goals there. And as you can see, we played Emeterio, Kazuwa, Hurst, Balic, Iturbe, Eckhart, and Iheanacho. So a very, very rotated squad, trying to get some of the fringe players some game time. We then managed another 0-0 draw, this time coming against Chelsea away. A massive result, not going to lie. Virgil van Dijk and Chesney basically won us the didn't win us the game, but managed to get us a draw in that, which is pretty much as good as a win against a team like Chelsea. However, in the next game, we actually beat Arsenal at home. Very impressive. Zivkovic with a brace, and Tom Aguilar, the less said about his own goal, the better. And Katembwe with a 9.0 match rating, man of the match performance. We then followed it up with another draw, this time coming to Tottenham, who were in first place. And as you can see, we were actually winning before Mbolo managed to get their goal. They only had 4 shots on target, scored 2. We had 6 and only scored 2 ourselves. And we also dominated possession fairly well away from home as well. Wanyama managed to get himself a goal, Kostic as well, and 8.7 match rating for Wanyama, as well as a man of the match performance. We then lost really, really disappointingly, I'm not going to lie, to Newcastle in the Capital One Cup third round, and that was our first loss since the first game of the season. And as you can see, Lewis Schwab in the 28th minute for Newcastle, and this guy, I'd never seen him before, Espiricita, I don't know. He managed to pick up the Man of the Match award with his assist. And as you can see, Virgil van Dijk had a really good game again. But a few of the rotated squad didn't perform too well. And another interesting thing about that game is we have never actually beaten Newcastle. In the whole series, we haven't beaten Newcastle in a competitive game. That is quite I think we've pretty much beaten every other team, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it might just be Newcastle. That is ridiculous. Anyway, moving on, back to the Premier League action, and as you can see, we followed it up with a 1-1 draw. Not the best result in the world, but as you can see, Iheanacho scored, and then they got one through this guy, Baskoglu. Yeah, we'll go with that. Katembwe, again, with a man of the match performance. We got back to winning ways with a 2-0 victory over Hull away from home. Iheanacho with a brace there. We also had Tom Aguilar get sent off and Sakai pick up Man of the Match award in that one. We managed to draw 2-2 with Reading, not the greatest result in the world. Rotariu opened the scoring for them. Kostic got one back after we were 2-0 down, through Fetfazidis, and then we got a penalty in the 67th minute, and that got us the draw. Not a great result, and we followed it up with a probably even worse result, to be honest. As you can see, we were 2-0 up. A minute later, after our second goal through Tom Aguilar, who got a brace, Theo Walcott scored, then he got one later on. They also had a player sent off for 70 minutes plus of the game, and we could not beat them. But as you can see, we absolutely dominated them, and deserved to win, to be honest. Let's be honest. We did deserve to actually get the victory there. And in the most recent game I played was another 1-1 draw, this time coming against Queen's Park Rangers, who I believe before this game was second last. So, yeah, typical. Zivkovic got a goal straight after Wisdom scored off a corner. So both goals coming within a minute. And Zivkovic also managed to get himself sent off in the 91st minute of stoppage time, picking up 2 yellow cards within a minute. So, yeah. Okay, so that's basically it. If we have a look at the finances, one more thing to mention before we get into today's live com. Just after the finances, we have 140 mil in the bank, 113 transfer budget. The other thing I want to mention is another player I'm bringing into the club. Well, there's 2, but yeah, Lawrence Patton's just a 16-year-old Belgian regen who looks half decent, could potentially be a decent player in the future. But Ibrahima Diakite, yeah, 20-year-old Italian regen, looks very, very good. Looks more like a target man, but I'm going to try and get his pace and acceleration up, and we'll try and either use him as an advanced forward, maybe even a complete forward. We'll see how we go. Obviously, that's not the best thing to do at the moment. But he's got 20 finishing, good composure, good determination, decent heading, very good strength, jumping also not too bad. The pace and acceleration, as I mentioned before, we're going to work on it. But to be fair, it's not that bad. 12 and 12 is half decent. 20 years old. He does have, I forget what it was, Senegalese nationality. So yeah, hopefully he plays for Italy, not Senegal, because I don't really want him going away to the African Cup of Nations. But yeah, that transfer is for 10 million up front to Napoli, which is a big amount of money. Don't get me wrong, I realise that. And he's not the greatest, but that 20 finishing just drew me in straight away. And I think he can do some damage, hopefully, if he develops correctly. We'll say that. Another thing to mention, as you guys probably saw with most of those fixtures, Iheanacho's been scoring quite a few goals. And yeah, 6 starts, 3 sub-appearances, got 3 goals, 1 assist. He's playing quite well, not going to lie. And his stats are going up as well, which is nice. Not too sure what we're going to do with him. Liverpool have been interested the last 2 transfer windows. At the moment, he's starting over Zivkovic, even though Zivkovic is out today with his red card. Zivkovic has 4 goals, but he's just doesn't seem to have the same effect as Iheanacho does at the moment, which is interesting. Another thing to mention, Carrasco got a 9-week injury, so we're going to have to test out some new left winger, inside forward players to try and fill his role. And yeah, Eckhart, Iturbe, maybe Bernard, maybe. I might actually bring Iturbe on the right and then play Kostic as the left. I'm not too sure yet. We'll have to wait and see. Let's get into today's live com. We'll get into the match preview. Team selection. Okay, so Chesney will be in goals. Van Vertoosen, Van Dijk, and Tom Aguila will be our 3 centre-backs. Katembe as the left wing-back. Sakai as the right wing-back. Hurst as the ball-winning midfielder. Myers as the deep-line playmaker. Iturbe will be the left inside forward. Kostic as the right inside forward. And Iheanacho up front. The bench today will be Romero, Jones, who's just absolutely woeful. I don't understand why I haven't sold him yet. Rodriguez, Wanyama, been playing very well, only gets a spot on the bench, but we'll see how we go. Balic, Eckhart, and Lopez on the bench. So yeah, let's advance here. Turbo is lacking his match fitness, but that is to be expected. And hopefully we can get a decent result here. I say decent result, I just want to win, basically. I'm sick of draws. We have only lost the once, and lost the once in the league, sorry, and we've only lost 2 times the whole season, so yeah, we are actually the favourites going in today. And I also forgot to show you guys the league table, but we are sitting in 10th position at the moment. So yeah, not the worst result in the world. We are doing quite well, to be honest. Things are positive, we'll say that. Things are looking positive so far this season. We need to pick up more wins in games that we're drawing. That's a big problem we have at the moment. And yeah, we just need to score a few more goals, to be honest. I think that's kind of our problem at the moment. Hopefully that can start today. And we've got a highlight here. Come on, boys. And we give it away. Lovely. And they give it away. And go Iheanacho. Go, son. Finish that. Oh, could have had the early goal there. Doesn't look like we're going to get it, though. Another thing to mention, Katembe is still not talking contracts with me. He believes that he is too big for this club. So I think we probably, at the very least, to even have a chance, have to get Europa League football this season. Otherwise, he will probably have to be sold next season, unfortunately, because he only has a year left at the end of this season. So I'm very, very, very worried about that. He's my favourite player of the whole series so far, and I don't want to lose him. He's the club captain. I mean, I put my faith into well, he was 17 at the time. I made him cap. Oh, come on, boys. Cartagena gets the goal for Watford there. And we've gone behind once again. Not happy. Not happy at all. So yeah, we've got some things to worry about. Another thing I want to mention is Van Voorthuizen and Myers, our two best Dutch players apart from, or Dutch regions I should say. Zukovic is probably the best Dutch player we have. But both of those players have release clauses. Van Voorthuizen is 35 million and I think Myers is 41 million, so we've got quite a few things to worry about, and I really need to try and get them on new contracts. I gave them new contracts at the end of last season, and their release clauses were a lot lower. I really would like to get rid of them completely from negotiations, but they're locked, which is worrying beyond all belief. But yeah, we've gone into the break 1-0 down. I don't like that. It's not good enough, boys. Come on. We're better than this. As soon as I turn the camera on, we lose. Lovely. We're not exactly dominating them either. It's fairly even apart from possession, but we kind of always dominate possession. Doesn't really matter who we play. And we're getting through some game time here. We're up to 63rd minute already. I don't really know who to bring on. I guess we'll give Lopez some game time, I suppose. He's been playing really well for the reserves, or the under-21s, whatever it is. Let's put him on, see what he can do, eh? I mean, Iheanacho just wasn't really performing. 6.7. Doesn't look deadly at all with... Oh, come on. Got to be offside, please. No way. No way we've just gone 2-0 down. This is Watford. 2 goals from 2 shots on target. What is wrong with me live comming games? I don't even understand. Does Chesney just act like a complete spastic when I live com a game? I don't understand. He doesn't really do it any other time except when I'm live comming. Anyway, we don't exactly deserve to be winning anyway, to be honest, so I'll take that loss. I'll take it. I'll take it on the chin. Oh, please don't score another one. We've got a few players out with injuries. I'll take it on the chin. We need to do something else because that's not acceptable, that type of result, to be honest. It's really not. And the boys know that. Hopefully that's just a one-off. They actually finished the game with more shots on target than us. That's a worrying sign, I'm not going to lie. And we drop down into 11th position as well. Only a point behind Watford in 8th. So, we could it's very tight up to about 5th, which is Sheffield Wednesday for some reason. Very weird. But anyway, that's going to wrap this episode up, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. Drop a like if you have, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.